Nope. Hi.
Oh,
Hi. Hi.
hello.
Hi, Kelly.
Hi.
Hi. How are you?
Good.
Good.
Just getting everything pulled up here.
Yep. Hi, everybody. So we're just getting ready and set up to start our little buyer class, our little buyer seminar. Kelly's in charge of all the behind the scenes technology.
Yeah, we'll
So
see how it goes.
a better you than me, let's just say.
So let's
Okay.
just,
You want to jump in?
yep.
Okay. So hi everybody. I know most of you, but for those of you who are tuning in that I haven't met, I'm Ann Anderson with Edina Realty, and I'm on here today with my daughter Kelly, and she is my buyer specialist for our team, Kelly
Mhm.
Lemke.
Hello, everyone.
Yes, so we are going to just kind of jump right in and talk today about what it looks like to buy a home in today's market. And really, this is just kind of a general overview of the buying process. And we would be more than happy to meet with anybody afterward at any point with a private consultation to kind of go into more detail about your specifics or even other specifics that we see happening in transactions that are a little off the beaten track. But right now, we're just going to cover the basics. And we're going to start with just talking about our team, basically, just to let you know a little bit about us before we get started.
Yes, so here we are. This is our team. There's 3 primary members here. So obviously Anne, she is our team leader, and I am the buyer specialist on the team. So I primarily work with all of our buyers. And we also have Carrie. She's also a licensed real estate agent, and she's our marketing director. So we are kind of, all 3 of us, you'll probably hear from us at one point or another if you're working on a transaction with us.
Right. And we have so many other people that support us. We have Wildish Media, which is Casey Anderson, who is my son. He is our videographer and photographer. And then we have our fantastic transaction coordinator that once we have a sale and a purchase agreement, accepted purchase agreement, we have Chris Stahlberger. She takes us, it covers all the details, makes sure that everything is on the calendar and watches our timelines. And then we have, of course, all kinds of support from Edina Realty. We have our very much loved Sue Saxon, who handles our Edina Realty office in Stillwater, and our broker Peter Spar. And we just have a really great office and lots of support, especially from corporate too. In terms of, I have to give a shout out to Jim Young. He's my go-to and is always there to help out. So thank you, Jim, and everybody. So let's get started and talk about what it looks like to buy. And a lot of people ask us, our homes, are you pretty, hi Marin, are you guys pretty quiet and no business happening out there? And our answer is resounding no. I mean, we're pretty busy. I mean, Kelly's been out every day on showings. We've got listings that are getting ready to come on the market. And everybody is like, why? Well, we went into this pandemic, and I really don't want to be cavalier about it. We know that there's a lot of people suffering. There's a lot of people that have been ill. There are people that have lost their jobs. Their businesses are kind of on the edge.
Mm-hmm.
And we just really want to acknowledge that, and we know that. But there's also just a lot of people that do have jobs and that are finding that their life just continues to happen. I mean, babies are born, and people are moving because of job transfers. Those are still happening.
Yeah,
And
and I just want to add that we had transactions that were already in the pipeline before this hit and before this kind of took over. And those transactions are, for the most part, on track, and we've closed a handful during this time as well.
Oh yeah. In fact, all of our transactions have stayed together except one. So yeah, things are clicking along, and we as agents have become really innovative. We've had to pivot. Everybody says, there talks about pivoting, and we really have had to just figure out how to make it work, because we have buyers that really want to buy homes, and we have sellers that really want to sell their homes. I think a lot of people are spending a lot of time in their spaces too over this last stay-at-home order. And by the way, we're doing this recording on May 14th, 2020. So, you know, everybody's been at home and people are kind of going, wait a minute, I can't spend all this time here. And so they're, you know, wanting to get to the next space. So we are providing safe showings, both virtually and in person. We're using no touch showings. We have a whole process that we go through with our buyers and with our sellers. So we're really keeping it safe, and it's been really working well. The other reason people are out there and really wanting to dive in and purchase is because of mortgage interest rates. They're just historically low. And I know we keep saying that, we've been saying that for years, but really right now they are incredibly low, and which makes for high affordability. So the one problem that we are having is inventory. So that's our biggest challenge right now. But other than that, there's a lot of people out there that are wanting to make a move.
Yeah.
Even now.
So since we've kind of talked about what it's kind of looking like right now, that we're still keeping busy, we thought that we would just kind of review the buying process, just from step one, working with an experienced realtor, all the way down to close. So we'll just kind of flip through here, and if you guys have any questions, please feel free to drop them in any of the chats that you're on. And Carrie is actually our tech support. She's on here and can help answer, or we can follow up with you after.
Yes.
So obviously step one is working with an experienced realtor. For us, we like to set up a buyer consultation with new buyers right away. We want to make sure that we're a good fit to work together. And then during that meeting, we'll also discuss budget and then criteria for your new home. There's also just kind of the whole process we'll go over in more depth on a one-on-one, and then we'll also talk about all the paperwork that's involved.
Yes, and in terms of experience, I have had my license for, I think it's 13 years.
13.
And Kelly, you've had yours for 2 now.
Mm-hmm.
And we've been in the housing, kind of the whole housing industry, because Kelly's dad, my husband Todd, is a contractor. So he's been doing that for, I don't know, 40 plus years. I hate saying that number, but it's true. We've been living in this world for a long time. So we bring a lot of experience to our clients to help navigate these different situations.
Yep, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. So the first thing we always do with our buyers, step one really after our meeting, is to get you approved, get our buyers approved. So we have really great lenders that we work with, and they'll, even if you're thinking, one big myth too is a lot of people think, oh, well, it's really too hard to get a mortgage right now, I'll just put off buying a house. If you're in that camp, you want to rethink that, because you can surely get a mortgage right now. And we have people that will connect you with. They'll look at your financial situation. They'll look at your credit score and your tax returns and your pay stubs, and they'll collect all that information and advise you, okay, yes, you are ready to buy, and you can buy up to this point, up to this price. And or they might say, you know what, you need a little work on your credit score, your debt to income. So they'll be your advisor. They'll help you. So even if you're not ready, if we find that you're not ready, they will have great suggestions for getting you into position to buy as soon as possible. So getting pre-approved is a big deal, because then we know what we can look at houses, what houses we can look at, so we can have our expectations in the right place, and then you'll be ready to make an offer when the right property comes on the market.
Yes, and you can just kind of search with confidence and as a serious buyer.
Right.
So the next step is just kind of refining your focus. Once you know what you can afford, we have a really great app. The Edina Realty app is great. It allows you to search by commute from your work or to schools. You can see different neighborhoods, what's around as far as restaurants and entertainment and things like that. You can also use that app to estimate your mortgage payment.
I love that. It's so easy to use.
Yeah,
you just
we use it all the time.
Because it takes into account, oh, sorry, Kelly, it takes into account both taxes and, association dues if there's an association. So it really figures that all in there at the interest rate that your loan officer has told you that you'd get. And so it's a really great tool.
Yes, it's great. And then you can easily share that with family, friends, or with us. You can send it directly to us within that app, and then we can kind of keep track of homes that you're interested in. So down here in the right-hand corner, you can see that if you want to download our app, you can text my name, Kelly Lemeke, to the number below, and I'll have that on the last slide as well. But it's it's a great place to start.
Mm-hmm.
Also, we wanted to talk about Network One.
Oh, yeah.
Which is a networking platform that we have with Edina Realty.
Yeah.
Yeah, do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Oh, sure. So Network One is kind of exclusive to Edina Realty. And so when we get a buyer and we're starting to work with the buyer, we'll put our buyer needs on that system so that everybody else in Edina Realty can see that buyer need. And then we can also put any new listings that we have coming on that aren't on the market yet. So it'll match up. So if we have a buyer, let's see, Kelly's looking, working with a buyer that wants, main floor living and with a pond view, which is something that we are looking for. She can just check. She checks every morning. It's just part of what she does is check Network One to see if any other Edina Realty agents have posted any properties that are a match. So we're always using that to find out what's coming up on the market. And then we also are, we're connected to all the agents in our community that aren't with Edina Realty too. So we're always sharing information kind of on closed Facebook groups with those agents to find out what's coming on the market and how to, zero in on properties that our buyers are looking for before they hit the market even.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So once you do find a property that you like, the next step would be to set up some showings. So right now, like Anne mentioned, they are looking a little bit different, but we are offering virtual showings and in-person showings. So we're just following safe practices with wearing gloves, wearing masks, using hand sanitizer and disinfecting before and after. And we're just trying to limit any touching in the homes while we're there on showing.
Yeah, and we're also really on our listings. We've always done videos, and so we're encouraging our buyers to look to see if there's a video of the property or a virtual tour or a Matterport tour. We're encouraging our buyers to really vet out the properties before we go to them, just to lighten the load on the seller. So we're really only seeing properties that are really important and really meet most of the criteria that we're looking for.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Something that you probably are seeing a lot is new construction around here too. So that is definitely part of the home search.
Mm-hmm.
And the biggest thing, I guess, is that builders kind of expect you to be working with a realtor. So it's really easy for us to kind of get connected with them and get you into seeing any of the new construction homes.
Right. And it's always very important to let us know before you go see a builder so we can let them know you're coming, or best of all, that we can come with you when you go visit a new construction model. So we love doing, being a part of that. Like I said, Kelly's dad is a contractor, so we are kind of in the know on all that it takes to build a really great house.
Yes.
Yes.
So, after we viewed properties and you have found a home that you really like, the next step would be to make an offer. So we will work on your behalf and we will write the purchase agreement for you and do any of the negotiating in your favor. So the purchase agreement will include the purchase price of the property, the amount of earnest money, the date of closing. It's has a lot of other parts of it that we will talk more in depth on a one-on-one consultation and when the time is come to write an offer. But something also that we like to talk about at this point is the home warranty, and this is a great tool to include in your purchase agreement or use in negotiations.
Right. One thing I wanted to just throw in here, I see a few questions, and we will answer all your questions after, but please post them. And if I can answer them while we're going on, please feel free to post them up there and we can just chat with you afterward or answer online. And also, if we would love to have some hearts and likes if you're out there and you're watching.
Yeah, let us know you're out there.
Yeah, let us know you're there. That'd be great.
And then actually, we were just talking about home warranty. You had just mentioned that you're getting a lot of notifications of our buyers
Oh
that have
yeah,
used the home warranty recently.
Edina Realty Mortgage sends you a little notification anytime a client has had, something replaced or repaired. And I got a stack. I don't know. There must have been about 7 or 8 of them in the mail over the last couple of weeks. So, so home warranties cover repairs, like I said, or replacements if they can't be repaired. So they're a really nice thing to have.
Yes, and it always seems like something happens in that first year of home ownership. So it just kind of takes away the worry. So it's just a great tool to use.
Yeah, Murphy's Law.
Yes, and then obviously we will negotiate, like I mentioned. There may be some back and forth at the time of submitting an offer, so we will go through all of that.
Mm-hmm. And then there's contingencies when you write an offer. So there's always not always, but I would say most of the time there's going to be an inspection contingency. And during that time period of your offer, you have a chance to really hire an inspector, and we've got great ones.
Mm-hmm.
To have an inspector come and thoroughly check over the house to let you know if there's any safety issues or not. And just kind of, our buyers always attend at least the last half of the home inspection to really get a feel for the house. And the inspector that we use, they're so great. They explain everything kind of step by step.
Yeah, and they're just really making sure that the home meets the minimum health and safety standards, and that you really just know the house that you're buying. So it's just a really important part of the process.
Right. And then the second contingency that most buyers have, unless of course they're a cash buyer, is the finance contingency. And so as part of the finance contingency, there's an appraisal. So once the inspection contingency has been lifted and satisfied and removed, then your lender will order an appraisal on the property, and to make sure that it appraises for the purchase price. And so once that is done, then your loan officer will be asking for different documentation and updated this and updated that. So it's a little bit of a process as you move through underwriting. So then once the underwriting is done, you're on your way to closing.
So once the appraisal and all of that is finished, all the paperwork is set, your loan is final approved, and we are getting near to the closing date, we will do a final walkthrough at the property. So we typically do this, the day before, day of, if possible, at the property, just to make sure that everything is still at the home that's supposed to be included in it, and that it's in the same condition as we were there last.
Right. Yes. And then step 9, the next step, we would talk about funds due along the way. A lot of buyers aren't aware that there are things you have to pay for along the way. So there's 3 things. So the one is earnest money. When we submit an offer, we always submit it with earnest money. That earnest money is then applied to your down payment at closing. But that earnest money will be returned to you if you were to cancel during the inspection period, because that, like we said, that's a contingency. If you were to find something out about the property that made you not want to move forward during that inspection contingency, you can cancel the purchase agreement. And that's something that we can talk about individually, because it's different in Wisconsin than Minnesota. We're licensed in both states. But the earnest money is typically about 1% of the purchase price, the offer price. And then that gets deposited into the listing broker's trust account until closing. So you need to come up with that right away, about 1% of the purchase price. Then the other thing that you're going to need to pay for along the way is the home inspection. And that is, I don't know, it's between like $500 and $750, maybe more, maybe less, depending on the size of the property. And then you may want to get a radon test. So that would be an additional about $150 for a radon test. So those are funds you need to have along the way. And then lastly, the appraisal fee, and that will be charged to you by the lender. And that is anywhere, in the realm of $500. So those are funds that you'd need before closing.
Yeah. So finally, we're at step 10, and that is closing day. So closings are looking a little bit different today than they normally are. Right now, agents and loan officers are being asked to not attend closings, and sellers are pre-signing. So they're just trying to follow the social distancing protocols and keeping everybody safe as possible. So closings are happening pretty quick at the actual closing day.
Yeah, I just did a pre-signing today, and closing companies are so great. They're so accommodating. We work with Edina Realty Title and Land Title, and so we had a closing today, and the closer came out to the car so that my seller wouldn't have to go in. And she stood at a distance, gave her a brand new pen, and we just, she went through the closing right in the car. So they're making it really easy for everybody to
really easy and really quick.
Yep. So Kelly,
And
I
then
think that,
yeah, well, I just wanted to mention too that once you close on your home, we don't go away. We're still here to help you with anything that ever comes up afterwards, or to answer any questions. So we still stick around, and you can always come to us for anything that you need after closing day.
yeah, we make it a point to stay in touch with our clients. We miss them once we close. It's always kind of a bittersweet because you spend a lot of time together along the way. So it's we love our clients.
Yeah.
Kelly, this is good. You came up with this, and this is a thou shall not list of things. Thank you, of things that buyers you don't want to do as a buyer. So let's just run through those.
Yeah, so a couple of really important things are like getting married without telling your loan officer or us. You just definitely don't want to go and get married in the middle of a transaction. It really affects the loan documents and the loan process. And name change, all of that kind of stuff. It has a big impact. So that's something that you want to either do completely before or after you buy your house, after you close on your house.
Right. And then some consolidating debt. You don't want to consolidate debt without, again, talking to your loan officer. You just kind of want to just walk the narrow path and just not do anything with your money. Basically, you don't want to change jobs for sure. Don't change jobs in the middle of a transaction. That is not a good thing. You don't want to miss any loan payments. And again, you don't want to shift any finances around at all or open new accounts. You definitely don't want to purchase a vehicle of any kind. Don't go out and buy a new boat because the river looks so beautiful right now.
Or new furniture for your new house before you
move furniture, right? Or anything on credit either, right? And what else, Kelly? You don't want to make large deposits into your bank account.
Yeah, and you just really don't want any inquiries into your credit at all. So that goes back to buying anything on credit. You don't want to co-sign on someone else's loan or spend any of that extra money that you'll need for closing costs. You just kind of just want to do your normal thing and not kind of stray away from the path. You just want to be as transparent as possible. So we just kind of know what's happening, and nothing is going to stick out that will slow your process down.
Right. One thing I want to say is I hope this was helpful for everybody. If you have any questions, like Kelly mentioned, please go and get in touch with us. You can DM us, you can text us. Our phone numbers and emails and everything are everywhere. And one thing that we would love to share with you, one thing that we're experiencing quite a bit is multiple offer situations. And we've developed a whole list of strategies and options that our buyers are using in those multiple offer situations to actually win. So yes, there's still competition out there in all price ranges, primarily those price ranges below 400, definitely below 300. So we can help you with that. So if you'd like a private consultation or would like to know more about that. Also, if you want to know more about what it looks like to write a contingent offer, because we certainly have a lot of people that want to move, but they don't want to let go of their house. They don't want to put their house on the market till they find something. And so we can talk to you about contingent offers too.
Yes, so thank you so much for everyone who has tuned in to chat with us about the buying process.
Yes.
And like she said, just DM us, leave us a message, make sure to like our video, and hopefully we can chat with you guys in the near future.
We'd love to. Thanks, everybody.